Heidi-ho there, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Sweeney here with another round of Mr. Sweeney's computer tips and tricks. Today, we are going to learn how to crop a photograph using PrintShop 23.1. Before we start cropping photos, I do want to point one thing out to you here, and this is very important. It's going to make your life a lot easier if you follow my steps and directions and do this. You're going to notice the orientation of this picture is turned 90 degrees counterclockwise. And so, trust me when I say this, I'm giving you some good advice. Before you import photos into the print shop and try to make any alterations, corrections, adjustments, or crop to the picture, you're going to want to adjust the orientation of the picture first before you bring it in. How do you do that? Well, one real simple way of doing it is just by highlighting your mouse over top of the picture, giving it a real quick, simple right click, and then rotating the picture clockwise. After you rotate it clockwise, give it a moment. The picture should turn to the proper orientation, and then at that point, you're good to go. Now, getting back to the PrintShop 23.1, hey, handy little feature that you can do with Windows 7 and newer. You can snap this to the left. You'll notice the little rectangle coming up in the background here. That's going to snap it to the left. Snap this one to the right. Sounds a little like a hokey pokey song, I know, but anyhow. Click on the panel color and texture, and I'm just going to put a color in the background so that you guys can see the effects of this. I'll give it a gradient, and we'll go green to black, and maybe we'll turn it on a little bit of a 45-degree angle, just showing you some of the really cool stuff that you can do with this. And the first one that I want to work with is a basketball. We'll drag that in. We'll see that the basketball, although it looks really great, the one problem that we have is what? Well, it has a white background. Now, I know there's a couple different ways that you can do this, but one of the ways that I like to do it, even though you can work with the menu over here, is just simply right-click on the photograph, go down to Edit Using Photoshop Workshop Classic, click on that little bad boy right there, and you're going to notice this screen will pop up with several different things across the top here that you can adjust. We'll touch on some of these other ones later, but for today, we're going to work with crop and orientation. And we have a couple of different preset selections that we can work with right here. And then, of course, Freehand Crop, which we'll get to in just a moment. But for this one here, since I've got a round basketball, I'm going to simply choose a circle. And there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can move the circle down, move it up, down, around, and all that. But basically what I'm going to do is just grab that guy at the top, bring that down. I'm not going to waste your time trying to do this perfect. Just give you the idea of it here. Bring this one up from the bottom. Bring this one in from the left. This one in from the right. Click OK, and you are good to go. All right, let me just size this one down and make it a little smaller. Now, if we lived in a perfect world, maybe everything might be the shape of a circle or everything might be the shape of a square or what have you. But sometimes when we run into a snag, we have a situation where we might have to crop a banana. If you ever find yourself in that situation where you do have to crop a banana, you're going to find this next portion here to be very handy. So what I'm going to recommend at this point is right-click, Edit Using Photoshop Classic. And when you see this guy pop up like this, you're going to want to click on Freehand Crop. Now, when I move my mouse over here, you're going to see a little skinny plus sign. And basically what you do is you move this around the banana and you put click your mouse every time you go around the banana. Every time I click, I'm going to say the word click so you have an idea of where they are going. Click. And you'll see the little dots, click, going on the banana, click, all the way around. Kind of speed the process up a little bit here. Click, click, a couple clicks here and there, a couple of tight clicks around the top of the banana. I guess now would be a good place to insert a good banana joke, but I didn't research any before I got on here, so I apologize in advance. I'm going to throw one way off, and then I'm going to come back down here, and we've obviously got a mistake over here, so we'll get back to that in just a moment. A couple of more clicks. When you get down to the end, if you can't line up exactly over top, typically what you can do is just double-click, and it will stop the cropping process. Again, you just double-click, and it will stop the cropping process, and you click OK. And then you look at your picture and say, well, there's something wrong there. Okay, if you have to go back and fix a few spots up, basically what you'll do is you'll right-click, Edit Using Photoshop Classic, Freehand Crop. Make sure you have the Move selection selected here, and you're just going to come over and grab that point and move it on back down. If you have to add points, you can click on this guy here. Maybe you can add a point in here if you wanted to. Maybe add another point here and move that one down or drag it down because that one was indeed a little bit out. Maybe you might have too many points on there and you might need to delete a few. You just line your mouse up over top, and there you go. And when it's all said and done, hopefully your banana will look something like this. So there you have it. It's Mr. Sweeney's Tips and Tricks. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to put a comment in that little comment box down at the bottom of this YouTube channel. I hope you found this information useful. And other than that, hey, have a great day.